900 hours, this is the AM show, exploring the break of a new day in Banjul.
Hello and a warm welcome to the AM show. I'm going live to bring you the picture of a new day. Well, my name is Winifred Nicole, and with me here in the studio I have my wonderful co-host.
My name is Fatou Gomloshi. It's good to have you with us this sad morning. When we take a look at what else we have for you this morning on the program. A tragic and heart-rending loss of a promising talent. GRTS mourns the shock death of Gambian journalist and ardent activist Sisi Suwaneh.
Well, a car crash far away from home takes the life of the young reporter who dedicated her time and energy in selfless service to her community and people.
We speak with journalist Sani Marina, a colleague and a friend who mentored the young journalist in her early days at Today newspaper.
Well, moving to enhance patient safety and healthcare service delivery, officials closed down the ASP hospital in Latikunda, citing poor case management that led to several deaths.
We'll get a full picture from the Director of Health Services and Director of Health Education.
And pads for schoolgirls in the hinterland. We examine a major effort to support girls attending the Hermitage boarding school with sanitary pads.
Elsewhere, Turkey launches Operation Peace spring attack in Kurdish defenses in northern Syria. President Erdogan says the move aims to prevent a terror corridor and create a safe zone along the Turkish border with Syria.
The offensive leaves the region vulnerable to an Islamic State resurgence as Kurds guarding ISIS prisoners left their post to fight Turkey.
Now, coming on the heels of the U.S. troop pullout from the region, President Trump has defended his decision to withdraw amid a growing backlash in Washington.
Well, that's the AM show and much more coming ahead in just a moment.
Live at 900 hours, this is the AM show, exploring the break of a new day in Banjul.
Hello viewers, I am Khadija Fati.
Hey, I am Sister Ya.
Hi, this is X-Mile.
Hi, this is Sex.
Hello, I'm Ronald.
Hi, I am Anna Mane, a fashion designer.
I am Johnny Constant.
And I'm Fanta Jamba Sisi.
amSHOW, I'm watching each and every AM. So every Gambian and every person watch the AM show each and every day. Hey, chahan kuwandati jenka bitol fale dak. Ifele katamoko mansaki inyal ben kanchak kole ko simbe duma sabe duma fonse mutaletap konye general webo kadi amulimo yefimak victory top of the top no fit songs dem go pop dan salman go chop if no really bones we adapt skank direct amSHOW afoba mad.
At 900 hours, this is the AM show, exploring the break of a new day in Banjul. Welcome back to the AM show. We begin the new day on a sad note because the Gambia Media Fraternity and GRTS is mourning the tragic loss of journalist and producer Sisi, Suwaneh, who died in a car crash Wednesday afternoon. Reports reaching the newsroom indicate that the reporter, who is also an ardent activist, was traveling with members of a traditional advocacy group campaigning against caste systems when the accident occurred. Family, friends, colleagues, and loved ones are devastated at the loss of a promising talent who fought daily to realize women's empowerment and the protection of the girl child. Let's bring in Sani Marina, who joins us live to tell us more about the work of a young departed journalist whose death has shocked the media fraternity. Hello, Sani, and welcome to the AM show.
Good morning.
Sani, Sisi works with us here at the State Broadcaster, but you have history with her that spans way back. Having mentored her in journalism and worked together, you must be devastated.
Absolutely devastated. You know, I supposed to come to the studios this morning to talk about him, but unfortunately, I am with a heavy heart to talk about the untimely death of a colleague, a sister, a friend, and a mentee who I have known for the past decade. Sisi has a very promising career. My journey with Sisi dates back way in 2008 when I started as a young reporter with Today newspaper, where I met Sisi. And during that journey together, we have learned, we have laughed, we have shared everything in common. So Sisi, to me, is not only a journalist. Sisi, to me, is more than a journalist. The Sisi people here, the Sisi people, you know, see on TV is more than the Sisi that passed yesterday. I'm still in tears. I cannot still come to terms that this young, promising journalist with a huge future ahead, you know, died in a very mysterious accident in that yesterday. As I speak now, you know, mourners from all walks of life, you know, locally, internationally, are all sending condolences to this family. What we can remember this young, promising lady is that he is out to bring in peace. He is out to unite the entire community he comes from. So Sisi died on a journey of reconciliation. He died on a journey for peace. He died on a journey where every girl child will not go to bed hungry. Every girl child will go to school. So this is a young, promising woman that I know, as I said earlier on, for more than 10 years. And during that period, as I said, you know, she has always been passionate of what she is capable of doing. You know, for me, I am speechless, I am wordless, I don't even know how to describe this young soul. Sisi is just a perfect human being. I'm like, you know, no, it's not true that this young lady is gone at a time when not only the Gambia, but the entire world needs her service. Sisi would forever be remembered as somebody who wants to see a world free, somebody who wants to see us live in equality. I am seriously devastated with the news of Sisi's passing. I'm in tears, and all what we can do at this moment is how do we keep her legacy alive, because she wants to see her community united despite their differences. She went all out to call a community meeting with a purpose of peace, reconciliation, and dialogue. Sisi will forever be remembered. Sisi will forever be celebrated, Mulusi.
Sani, we are all in shock, but always a sweet and loving personality Sisi is indeed. Now tell us, did she always have that remarkable charm and character which makes her hard to overlook? She was certainly a big deal wherever she is. Would you allude that to her strong passion for people?
Absolutely. Sisi herself, you know, is a friend of everyone. This is manifested since his passing last evening. Tributes have been pouring, both of happen online. That shows to you that the person sees. At a tender age of 26, she is already known globally. She has been crisscrossing from one forum to another with the objective of a world free of inequality, a world where girls will live in peace, a world where we will all be equal. So to me, Sisi's journey is incomplete. And those of us he left behind, I promise we will continue to fight for what he believes in, and we will continue to support his family. A young soul is gone, but his work and legacy will remain fresh.
Now, Seni, if you can just stay with us. Now, the last report Sisi covered for GRTS was at the Vice President's office in Banjul on Tuesday. Let's take a look at that.
The social protection policy and implementation plan since its enactment, the $30 million from World Bank and $1 million from the Gambia government will be centered on three components in line with the aspirations of the Gambia Social Protection Policy 2015 to 2020 and the accompanying implementation plan 2015 to 2020.
The project design has three components. Component 1, the main thrust of which is the development of coordination mechanisms for social assistance activities, is to be implemented by the Social Protection Secretariat being created under my office. Component 2 is the NAFA program of cash transfers and social and behavioral change communication, known as the SBCC, designed to promote continuity and harmonization with other programs, expanding an existing package of cash transfer. This component will be managed by the National Nutrition Agency, NANA, for a period of 3 years with a target population of 15,606 of extreme poor households, selected using as proxy means tests and community validation in the poorest 20 districts of the Gambia. The third component focuses on project management and capacity building in terms of financing the costs associated with the management of the project and capacity building activities.
Vice President Toure stressed that the launch of the Project Steering Committee symbolizes her office's commitment and proactive stance to provide the required guidance and leadership for effective and efficient execution of the NAFA program.
It marks the fulfillment of a key element in our responsibility as stipulated in the project appraisal document. I therefore wish to urge the entire membership of this committee to give the assignment all the seriousness it deserves in order for the project to fully achieve its desired goals.
Commenting on the diversity of the committees, the Vice President stressed that they are drawn from different sectors across the entire spectrum.
PSC is the high-level decision-making body with membership drawn from across the entire spectrum of actors working to address the needs and well-being of the poorest and most vulnerable people in our society. The committee comprised of representatives from key institutions and organizations which are either partners or have particular expertise to lend to the project or whose clients are the intended users of the project outputs.
The Project Steering Committee will, among other functions, approve the annual work plans and budgets, oversee project implementation, and review the project's progress, outputs, and constraints. For GRTS News, I am Sisi Suwaneh.
Exploring the break of a new day in Banjul.
May her soul rest in perfect peace. Seni, we still have Seni on the line. Hello, Seni. Hello, Seni. Well, we'll have Seni on the line again, but we go with a short break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Live at 900 hours, this is the AM show, exploring the break of a new day in Banjul.
Hello, Seni. Welcome back to the AM show. Seni, if you're still on the line. Seni, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Now, Seni, we know Sisi was also an ardent activist who struggled daily for her community and other causes such as gender issues and women's empowerment. How much of a loss is her death for the Gambia and her community?
As I said in my tribute, the Gambia lost a great daughter, and not only the Gambia, but the entire Africa and the world at large lost a great personality. As I said, Sisi is not only a journalist, but a passionate activist who wants to see a world where, girls are equal, a world where, we can live in peace and coexist. As I said, I know Sisi for more than 10 years, and during this period, I have mentored her to reach her potential. So I'm always proud of her work. Our last conversation was just a day ago when I called her, and then she told me that she was in her community trying to, broke a peace deal between the communities in Koina, Garawul, and other URR satellite villages. And then, what came into my mind is that Sisi is so passionate about something she's doing. And the issue of the caste system has been going on for a long time. And many people try to broke that, peace and, dialogue among, communities in that area. And then Sisi all of a sudden went on a mission, knowing that, she's a proud daughter of her community, knowing that, her parents, her fathers, her mothers will listen to her. If you read her last tweet or her last Facebook posting, that alone will tell you that this lady is up for something good for our community. He said, "Here comes your daughter. You have celebrated me for the past decade. I am here today to reconcile you, to have a dialogue with you, to have a conversation with you, as a community." This is very inspiring and very touching. So we hope that Sisi's work, as I said earlier on, will continue. We will continue to celebrate her. We will continue to go all out to see that what she believes in is cherished in the future. Everyone is shocked, but all what we can do, good people in this world never stay long. Sisi age has 26, has, achieved a lot in her life. And I pray that Allah grant her peace in Jannah.
Amen. Sisi has done many amazing things for many people, and she will deeply be missed, especially here at GRTS. A shining light has been extinguished and our hearts are heavy. Sini, what do you think is the best way to remember and preserve her legacy?
The best way is to do for Sisi now. All what she needs is our prayers. But the best way to keep her legacy is what she believes in. She believes in the rights of women. She believes in peace. She believes in dialogue. How do we ensure that these things are alive in her name? The only thing we can do is let's continue to propagate for the principles and values she believes in. She believes in a world where she wants every young child to have education. She believes in a world where everyone should live in peace. And I think that people should now think of how do we, further her goal of seeing a peaceful Sarawule community, a peaceful Gambia. So these are some of the things that we can do. I think what we can do, we need to celebrate her and even, name, Hello?
Yes, hello?
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you, Sini.
Yes. I said the only thing we can remember, Sisi, is for us to keep her legacy alive. Sisi believes in peace. Sisi believes in children's and women's rights. So all what we can do is how do we further this? For one, I will dedicate Sisi's anniversary to propagate for peace in her community. And I will also call on our community to remember her. Sisi's passing, that's a sign, or that's a way for them to come together for once and for all, for the sake of their daughter. Because when he faced them, he told them one important message, that I am your daughter. I have been celebrated for the past 2 decades. Now it's time for you guys to come together and have peace among yourselves. That's a very powerful message. How do we ensure that that message, stay is, for us to come together and celebrate this young soul?
Many thanks, Sini. It's always a pleasure to have you again. With a heavy heart, we say rest in peace, Sisi. You will forever be present in our hearts and minds.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
And of course, Sisi has been, her work left this world during one of her many advocacy campaigns to promote peace amongst her holy communities. She died in a tragic car accident, together with two others, one of them, Papa Toure, a leading member of the United Democratic Party Youth Wing. They were heading for Jara to take part in reconciliation football match between Sarahuli communities there when the car crashed fatally. We begin first with this report by our LRR correspondent, Alajimbai, who visited the scene. At 900 hours, this is the AM show, exploring the break of a new day in Banjul.
Hello viewers, I am Khadija Fati.
Hey, I am Sister Ya.
Hi, this is X-Mild.
Hi, this is Sex.
Hello, I'm Ronald.
Hi, I am Anamane, a fashion designer.
I am Danny Constant.
And I'm Fanta Jamba Sisi.
amSHOW, I'm watching each and every AM. So every Gambian and every person watch the amSHOW each and every day. Hey, Chahan Kuwandati Jenka Bitol Faleda. If I got Tamoko Mansaki, Inyal Ben Kanchak, Koleko Simbe Duma Sabe Duma for Semutaletap, Konye General Webokadi Amulimo Yefimak, Victory Top of the Top, no fit songs them got up, Dan Salman got chop, if I know Willy Bones we had up, skunk.
Going live at 900 hours, this is the AM show, exploring the break of a new day.
GRTS mourns the death of its staff, Sisi Suwaneh. She was involved in a car accident this afternoon. The fatal accident claimed the lives of two other individuals identified as Papa Toure and Sekou Toure, while two others were seriously injured. The accident involved a double-cabin pickup BJL 2832, believed to belong to Honorable Fode Drame, National Assembly member of Tumanna. It crashed around Kiang Junior in Lower River region on Wednesday between the hours of 4 and 5 p.m. The said vehicle was coming from Banjul heading to Jara Soma, where the victims were going to attend the final of the Soninkara football tournament. What was anticipated to be a mouth-watering final turned to be shocking. The death of Sisi and the two others left everyone in shock. Eyewitnesses and police who were at the scene explained that the tire of the vehicle busted and it left the road and somersaulted after hitting a tree trunk nearly 50 meters away from the road. The late Sisi will be remembered as a dedicated and hard-working young journalist and an activist who was devoted to promoting sports and women affairs. She was also an A-grade student who was pursuing her bachelor's degree in journalism at the University of the Gambia. Alajimbai, GRTS News.
Going live at 900 hours, this is the AM show, exploring the break of a new day in Banjul.
Now, Sisi's life story was that of some remarkable achievements despite her tender years. Her work has been diverse: a student, an iconic media personality, a mentor, an activist, and a role model. She made an impact wherever she had been, and joining us to look back on her legacy, we're joined in the studios by Ms. Salimatu Fati, founder of Salimatu Foundation for Girls Education and a close friend, personal friend of Sisi, prominent youth activist, and another friend here in the studio. We have Fabakari Kale. They have their memories of Sisi, and for all of them, she worked with during her lifetime. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Fabakari and Salimatu. Now, this is a tragic news for all of us. What do you have to say, Fabakari?
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Perhaps I should just say, Inna lillahi wa inna alayhim raji'un. I want to first start by consoling myself, the media fraternity, the young people of this country, to believe in the statement where Allah told us in the Quran that they plan, I plan, and I am the best of the planners. We've had our time with Sisi. We had plans with her, but Allah had His plan and His time, and that is the best, and we accept it. Sisi is dedicated, and maybe I should say Sisi is a rare gene. She is one person that we can all talk about. So I don't want to go to what is on the public media, but what we have by the side. I come in contact with Sisi when she walked to my office and said to me, I want you to mentor me. I want to be a youth activist more than you, and I want to be more celebrated than you. And I told her, you don't need my mentorship. I'm your father. No, I'm a Badibungani Sarahule. And that is where we get in touch until on Saturday, we've not lost communication in anything that she does. She worked for peace. She is recruited in the Peace Ambassadors of Peace and had been in the field promoting peace. She stood for her tradition, her identity. I remember when I was invited to the Sarahule Youth Development Association meeting to share thoughts with them, and I went with her, and I hold her hand like this and hand her over to BK Silla. And I said to BK, you invite me to talk to you about a lot of things, but hearing this girl, my replacement, it is about time that I didn't come to Sarahule Youth Program again, for she has more than I have. She knows your community, and she knows what I know. And that is where her linkage with the Sarahule Soninkara started. And that's why yesterday I told her father, I killed Sisi. When Sisi started her activism and was going out, the father and the mother were so protective of her, and they stopped her, didn't want her to be going out. I sent my delegation to meet the father, and I'll use this opportunity maybe to send condolences. I've not done that because I didn't know where to start. Mr. Abdu Boy was the program officer for Peace Ambassadors, program coordinator of Peace Ambassadors then, and Mamadou Juju Jalo was an attaché at the Peace Ambassadors then. These are the two I sent to her father to discuss with her, to be allowing her to participate in activities. They met the mother, and well, the mother passed away, we all know that, so they had a discussion, and they had in principle agreed. And the mother advised that we should see the father too. I went there myself to meet the father, and the father recalled that yesterday. And I remember, therefore, that I had contributed in presenting her out. When we discussed Sisi on just the recent activities that I found Marina talking about, when this Soninkara, this Sarahule problem started, in 2009, the Peace Ambassadors was in Diabugo, in Bajakunda, talking about these issues that then they just saw in their head. Sisi had been an active member of that crisis management team until few weeks ago. Then I was in Lomi, and she sent me a text that I am in Kigali, and when I return, I'm going to Garawa, and don't stop me. These was the words. You know, if I could just read them. And I told her, because I've always said, don't go. The communities and the problems, we can handle it by a lot of traditional ways. And I told her, I'm not stopping you this time. I'll set my foot wherever you set yours. And I think on Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever, she sent me a text and said, I know you are busy these days. I know your schedule. So this time, I'm not going with you. But when I return, I want to meet you on Monday or Tuesday. So we discuss the next and the bigger steps. And I told her, let's make it Friday.
Wow.
Little do I know that she was taking her leave. I want to say to the Sarahule community that they lost a God-sent person. And there is no prominent Sarahule person in this country, as far as I know, who Sisi did not contact about this Sarahule thing. If they love her as much as they've cried for her yesterday, then they must drop whatever they are doing in her memory. God set people for certain missions, and that is her mission. I don't want to talk about her involvement in education, because that's where she got to Sally, so I will not go that direction. I want to encourage every sport fan and everybody in the sporting fraternity to live by Sisi's determination and proactive, non-violent, ways of presenting her sporting emotions. Sport is very emotional and it leads a lot of conflict. But I've seen Sisi in the center many a time. When she will call me and say, Kale, this is the situation, put that in your graph. That's how she always said, put it in your graph. We have these conflict mapping tools, and she called it Kale's graph. She just keep that. Said, put it in your graph, and I need your feedback in 2 hours. Sometimes I'll say, I'm not your headmaster, but we will go that direction. I want to encourage the media fraternity, because I remember my discussion with her on the GPU issues when she started posting on the Facebook. And she told me, you have advised me that man is not built in silence. I hate nobody. I have no problem with anybody, but I believe in presenting things I see. So don't see those posts as enmity. See it me doing my job.
Of course.
The last words she told me about the next issue she is picking. Because always Sisi is not herself. She look at people's problem and pick it. She told me, I'm coming to your airport. And I said, if you dare write about my airport, we'll meet at the Johnson. Sisi was in the FGM. Sisi, in youth work, we all know, is one person that if tensions rise, she has a way of bringing it down with humor. She has a way of talking to people's emotion. And she has one rare character that she can hear what you did not say. When you talk to her, she heard what you did not say. I'll extend my condolence to the family, to you, I know your relationships, to the entire Gambian youth, and to the peace-building family nationally and internationally. Thank you very much for this program.
Thank you,
Thank you so much,
Babakari.
Mr. Babakari. We'll take a short break, Winnie, and when we come back, we'll shift to Salimatu, of course. Going live at 900 hours, this is the AM show, exploring the break of a new day in Banjul. Welcome back to the AM show, and it's good to have you with us once again. Salimatu, we come to you. You, like Sisi, is an activist, a young leader, and yesterday all the young leaders in the country were in summer mood. How did you receive the news of her demise?
Actually, I was heading home, and I called the program officer at my foundation, But I left the school actually, and everything was fine at the school. And when I called him, because he works at American Corner, so I wanted to pass by. And I told him, you have to go for your stuff at the TLO because we have in the Teen Girls Mentorship graduation on Saturday. And he asked me, where are you? I said, I'm driving home around Car Junction, and said, I'm in law school, everybody has your message. I was like, no, I'm just from law school right now, nothing happened there. And he told me, Sisi, someone passed away. I said, which Sisi are you talking about? And he said, Fatumata, Sisi's friend, because Sisi introduced me to Fatmata. That's why I had Fatmata in the mentorship program together with you. So when he said that, I said no, because I was with Sisi yesterday, and Sisi asked me, when are you traveling? I told her, so how come? It's just something that
it was hard to believe.
Because and when that's why sometimes they say driving and using phone is not good. So immediately I received the news, I couldn't focus anymore. I was driving, only God knows how I got home, you know, and I lost appetite in everything, and I had to go to the girls and told them, you know what, we cannot just go ahead with this graduation because Sisi means so much to me. And sat on day before yesterday, before she passed away yesterday, I sent her a message on WhatsApp by 8 p.m. I was inviting her to the girls' graduation because she was the first person that I have in mind to invite during the Teen Girls Mentorship graduation. And she told me, I'm not in the country, but I can recommend some people for you. So when the graduation came, I texted her day before yesterday that the girls are graduating, so you have to be there. And it was like, sure, I will be there. So receiving this news, going through our conversation, reflecting how Sisi has impacted my life and my foundation, it's something that it's hard to believe. You know, it's really hard to believe. Because I feel like in my house, everybody was like, so sorry, I couldn't sleep last night. You know, I can't just do anything. I remember when I was established in the foundation, Sisi was one of the persons that I reached out to because I met with her through Pabakari's organization's Peace Ambassador. And after attending the summer camp, she was being so supportive, and I reached out to her and I told her that I really want to establish something, this and this. And she was the one person that when I told her this is the name for the foundation, she did not object. And the initial idea was just to put the acronym of SFE. Sisi was the one that told me, why not you just put SA and an FE? So I asked her, so what would the A mean? She said the SA will stand for Salimatu, and the F will stand for foundation, and the E, and it just goes. So which means that it's so easy for you to call it safe. So I just don't know how to accept the fact that like she's definitely no more.
It's really sad for all of us. Now, Sisi has been your friend, you know. She has been there for your girls, for the foundation. I mean, talk to us about that, Sisi as a friend to you.
Yeah, most of the in activism, we all know, we all face challenges, both personal and, you know, in activism. And she's the one person that I reach out to, someone that I can feel like comfortable and just to say out people's name. If someone hurts me, I will go to Sisi. If people are having issue with my frequent traveling, Sisi would be the one I approach. Sisi, people are saying, what should I do? I remember not long ago, I had issue and I explained it to Sisi, and she was forcing me to speak up. And I was like, no, I don't want to speak up. Sisi, and she was like, no, Salimatu. Just speak to me, and I would definitely try to put a stop to this. You get it? So she has been like supportive to the girls, and if I have idea and bring to Sisi would have to make sure she support the idea. Hence, my foundation is planning to conduct regional and national spelling bee. Sisi was actually the first person that I reached out to as well. Sisi, this is the program I want to do, and I want to have you as part of the organizing committee. So will you help? I said, sure. And like, she's always there for me. She's not a volunteer in the foundation, but she's someone that the foundation always reach out to when we have doubt, when we have anything. And it's not something like we share in social media. I have so much respect for Sisi, and that respect like will forever continue. And that's why when it happened, I told the guys, we cannot go ahead with this graduation. We can't, because Sisi means so much to me. I know what she has done, you know, for me in my life.
How do you remember her?
I mean, I'll remember her for someone that has dedicated her life in empowering people's life positively. You know, especially in the respect of girls' education, women's rights, we all know is not something new. Sisi is passionate, or I don't even want to use the word was, but she has been so passionate about women's and children's affairs. And she is the first person that introduced me. The first time I appeared on newspaper, it was through Sisi. Because she saw me during the summer camp that happened in Ziguinchor. I was not in hijab. You know, I was just doing any kind of thing. And when I just started hijab, Sisi reached out to me and told me, Sally, you did an amazing job, but I want to find out, why do you have to put a hijab? And hence you are passionate about children's rights. And I'm also, this is the area that I am also passionate about, and I want to encourage young people that are doing issues like this. So will you mind if I can introduce you to my column? And since then, from that introduction, people began to know about my work. So she will be, I will forever remember her as someone that really introduced me to the world, I would call it.
Which is great. Fabakari, can this country recover from such a loss?
Can we? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Sisi and perhaps all of us at the Peace Ambassadors believe that I think that year that she was recruited in the ambassadors, the philosophy was that the purpose of life, because for every ambassador training we hold on to a philosophy. The philosophy for that training was the purpose of life is to build a tree under whose shade you do not expect to sit. So she has built her own tree, and we are expect to enjoy that shade. I said, yes, we can, because it will now require us. It come back to us. Sisi played her part. It's a race. She played her part and hand over the baton, even though not at her own will. Maybe the baton dropped somewhere, so we should pick it. And it now beholds on people like Salimatu she mentored. And that's why I said we can. The people like Salimatu she mentored, the Fatmata Sedikan she grows up with, the Ida Fatajos that I saw her move with, the Ida Jainaba Faiz, the team that Sisi worked with should replace her. They should make us feel that Sisi is still with us by keeping up to what she has. She is, like I said again, she was that person who does not believe in holding everything to myself and people hover around her. Because perhaps she has foreseen that one day I will go in a short period and somebody should pick from where I stop. So I don't want to believe in the concept that we can get her up. I know for us at Peace Ambassadors, yesterday we were with the family, we were with the father, with the other. We have resolved that where she stopped, we are picking. We were working with her and we know where she stopped on our part. And that's why I want to encourage everyone to continue what she stopped, and that way we will be able to recover and have her replaced. Maybe I should also say this. See, when God created us, he has given us an assignment and has chosen that Sisi will do his assignment in a very short period and leave. And she's been everywhere within that period. She's gone. I want people to ask themselves this question, as we hovered over Sisi's death. What have I achieved in life so far? What am I holding for tomorrow that I can do today? Because Sisi did not wait for tomorrow. She doesn't wait until she is old enough to take what she should do. She started it at that tender age. So let's remember her and replace her by asking ourselves this question: what have I achieved? Assume it's me in that car. What will people say about me? Because in life we need to write what people said about us when we pass on. Sisi wrote what she want. What have you written, or what have you wrote for yourself, or what are you writing for yourself that people can pick up from?
Thank you so much, Mr. Kale and Salimatu, for that. Indeed, Sisi has left us too soon, but like I said, her legacy lives on. A lot of us, I know, as special activists, are wondering, is the fight even worth it anymore? But I think it's really worth it, because today we are remembering her as a great person, because she has indeed fought.
And will always be remembered.
For that, take a short break, and when we come back, the amSHOW continues. Thank you so much for passing by.
Thank you.
Going live at 900 hours, this is the amSHOW, exploring the break of a new day in Banjul. Live from Banjul, this is the amSHOW, delivering a special tribute to our departed colleague and great daughter of the Gambia, Sisi. Suwaneh leaves us too soon. Winnie, and this is really a difficult day.
Indeed, Moloshi, we will stay with that as developments unfold. The deceased is expected to be laid to rest today at 5 o'clock this afternoon in Kanifing. We will keep you up to date on that, a tragic moment bearing a great loss.
Now to the health sector, where officials charged with the responsibility of controlling and supervising all health facilities, including private clinics, have been moving to ensure hospitals are properly managed to enhance patient safety at all times. The Ministry of Health is, however, concerned with the actions of some private clinics and health centers, particularly those operated by non-governmental organizations in the Gambia. The ministry has noted with concern the high level of negligence and delay in referring patients to the Edward Francis Moore Teaching Hospital and other referral centers in the country, which is believed to have resulted in the demise of some patients. The health ministry urges all practitioners to desist from the practice of late referral and attempts at treatment of conditions in the absence of required expertise.
Now, as a result of that concern raised by the health ministry, officials have moved to close down the Abata Samarita Boon ASB clinic located in Latikunda, German, closing down the facility with immediate effect. Officials have suspended all clinical activities at the health facility until further notice. The decision was made after a series of complications in patients referred from the clinic, resulting in loss of lives, which were established to be due to deficiency in the management of the cases. Now, let's break this down with the health officials. We have been joined by the Director of Health Education, that's Mr. Modunjai, and the Director of Health Services, Jibril Jaju. Welcome. Dr. Mustafa Bite. Well, thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Now, quickly, why are health centers in the transfer and referral of patients to the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital and other specialists, hospitals?
First of all, thank you very much, and please accept our condolences for this great loss. It's a day that we are coming that really the whole nation is feeling this. But thank you also for taking up this issue, because we noticed that any clinic that is operating has a covenant with the government, and the binding rule is that they must provide the expected care. There's a care standard that we expect every clinic operating, whether public or private, that they need to provide. And we've noticed, recently that delays, there are a lot of delays in the referrals, and we see that people are attempting to take treatments that they are not trained to do, and really this needs to be coped, otherwise we'll have a lot of complications going forward.
Okay. And of course, I knew now poor case management is being blamed for the ASB closure. Can you put this into perspective, and has the hospital been put under any sort of review or investigation?
Yeah, so investigations will be ongoing. This has, in 2018, 29 November, a team was dispatched to ASB, and they've gone to see, because of some spits of, complications, and the outcomes, recommendations were made. And one of the recommendations was to ensure that going forward, they should have, timely referral. And another recommendation was to ensure that there is 24-hour obstetric emergency care, because otherwise, if the expertise is not there all the time, then you have these issues. So this definitely was not implemented. And then recently we've had similar issues again coming up.
Okay, Dr. Abite, will come back to you. Modunjai, the ministry has ordered the ASB, clinic to transfer all inpatients to the nearest appropriate health facilities and to comply with the closing order. Can we confirm that this has been carried out?
Yeah, actually, as we are speaking now, the health facility has been closed. And then the Director of Health Service is also working with the team to ensure that referrals are done. And then the patient should be transferred to the nearest facility, which is the EFSTH hospital. Just going back to Fatu Ali Kamilu's concern, normally closings are not done just to get up and close the facility. There are inspections that have been done. Recommendations have been put up forward, but those recommendations were not implemented. And as a result of that, we have to close it. And that's also doesn't mean that other facilities need to operate, because if the other facilities are already on board and they are also operating, they also want them to comply, because if they are not also having the required human resources or capacity to manage certain cases, this press release is showing them that they need to do more. They need to do a lot of work to ensure that their facilities are operating based on the standards we have put aside.
Of course, we know poor handling and management of medical cases can lead to emergencies and their outcomes that endanger and put lives at risk. What role should the public play in this?
The public, actually, we always want them also to ensure that anytime they feel that somebody is sick, or they suspect somebody is not well, they need to refer, they need to go to the nearest facility on time. That will also help them, so that when they go to that facility and that facility cannot manage, they can also refer immediately to the nearest facility that they feel they have the capacity to manage. That's what we are in. With the committee also have a role. When you talk about referral, because we have referral protocols by the ministry. So that referral protocol, meaning people need to be referred on time. That when somebody is sick, you don't need to keep the person home for long. You need to refer the person. And when the person also refers to that facility, and if they cannot manage, they have to be sincere enough to say that we cannot manage, we have to refer. And then not keeping that particular person. You cannot manage the person, you don't have the required drugs, you don't have the expertise, you keep the person, or perhaps it's a private facility, and when somebody spends the night, the person pays a lot of money, and you cannot manage the person, you keep the person there observing, but you cannot do anything. And then when the person is about to die, you refer to EFSTH, and then it's claimed that the person died at EFSTH. These are some of the problems that is happening. So we really want people to definitely be mindful of that.
Now, how can medical facilities enhance, patient care?
Actually, I will, just to ensure that, if they need to have the required capacity, the equipment should be available. And also, for example, if we are also the obstetric care, in terms of theaters, if they are there, they should be functional. All other components of the facility should be functional and operational. But if those things don't happen now, and somebody comes with surgery issues, and you want to perform surgery when you don't have the equipment, the right equipment, you are causing problem for that particular individual. And you end up touching the person, and then within few hours the person dies. And when you know the person is about to die, you refer to the hospital, EFSTH, and that's where all the blames will come. People are dying in EFSTH. Most of the people are brought in dead. Some are brought in before.
To the Edward
Exactly, when they know that they are about to die, they are referred. And this is we want them now to be using the required expertise to manage this patient at their level. But if they cannot manage, let them refer to Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, which we have the required expertise, we have the required equipment. All the experts are there. They can be able to manage. Yeah, Doctor will also highlight on that.
Let's come back to Doctor, because according to a new joint report by the OECD, World Health Organization, WHO, and the World Bank, poor quality health services are holding back progress on improving health in countries at all income levels. Now, why is patient satisfaction crucial in healthcare delivery?
Thank you. That's important, because if patients are not satisfied, then they will not trust the system, and they don't come. So that's why the attitude, the way you dignify patients. Now, positive pregnancy outcome, for example, that's what WHO is saying. So we don't just want you to go through the process, get your baby and go, but we want you going through it and be happy. So you should be given that dignity, you should be respected, you should be explained, everything should be explained to you. Not that the doctor is just doing everything, and you are not aware. So you don't get the satisfaction. But if you are part of the process, and this will come with time, because as the quality improves, as the number of people trained improves, then this will come more into the system. But in areas where you are lacking a lot of things, probably, it might be an issue. But, we think that this will come on board,
Now, Dr. Bite, we're talking about inaccurate diagnosis, errors in medication, inappropriate or unnecessary treatment, inadequate or unsafe clinical facilities and practices. How much of a problem do we face in terms of assuring quality in healthcare?
No, I think it should be easy, because everyone should know your limit. We are not expecting every institution to be able to treat all conditions. But what we want them to know is, if your limit is at this level, just stop there and refer to the next level who can take it up. We are not expecting every minor facility, every clinic to be able to do everything. But what you can do it well and recognize the high risk and send them early. For example, one of the cases who was seen was found to be hypertensive at 32 weeks, and it was severe. So you leave that patient 2 other times coming with very severe high blood, and still 2 other occasions. You had an opportunity, you were given time. So if that woman dies of renal failure, eclampsia, it's not acceptable, because you were given enough time to take care of the woman. And these things, you don't see it happen in developed countries or places where they are doing very well.
And finally, of course, Mr. Njai, can you take us through the broader economic and social cost of poor quality healthcare?
Poor quality healthcare has a lot of implications on the family and as well as also on the government. On the family side, we want to ensure we have an able minister, Dr. Sanitary, who really want to ensure that all our facilities, for example, starting from the primary healthcare level, are all strengthened. Now we have about 891 primary healthcare villages. His idea is to ensure that we scale up the primary healthcare. That's just at that grassroots level. We also have about 45 minor health centers, and then 6 general hospitals, and then also a teaching hospital. The whole idea is to strengthen, and he's working towards that to ensure that those things are strengthened. Because if that did not happen, people are going to spend a lot of money on health, and we don't want people, out-of-pocket expenditure on health is too much. We don't want people to be spending a lot of money on health while they don't get what they want to get. We want them to be satisfied. When they spend money, we want them. But if you look at it also, Gambia, we are providing a very cheap health services at the government level. Like $25, $50 for ticket. You come, you get all what you need. All the services, laboratory, and pregnant women and children are free of charge. So you can see the service we are providing. But also when the services are also not provided, at the right time, then we also have some problems. Then that's where the issue of delay in referral, delay in care seeking. And also we have some issues which we have to acknowledge at some point. Over the years, we have been having experience in people that are poor communication between health workers and their clients. And this has been addressed. Now we're happy that health workers are giving services to people and they are communicating. And that we want also that thing to continue and we're also strengthening that one, which is also very key. What service you are providing, you need to tell them what service you are providing and for what benefit. so that they also go back satisfied and they feel that, oh yes, I have walked maybe 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers, or I paid about $10 in taxi fare, and then this is the benefit I have. Economically, they feel very happy. So, and I think this is what we also want to encourage.
Of course. Dr. Bite, you have something to add?
Thank you very much. I just want to say that it is very important to have a very good public-private relationship. We are not saying that the privates are not needed. They are highly needed, and they are complementing government efforts. They are bringing employment, and they are in places where government probably is not. But what we want is we want to encourage standard care, and we want to have a very good symbiotic relationship where the public will benefit. So it's not like a witch hunt or anything. We really want to work with them.
Of course. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen.
Of course, the time we move to raise standards and enhance patient safety. We have been speaking with the Director of Health Services and, of course, Director of Health Education, Mr. Nye. Many thanks for coming to the AM show.
Please accept our support.
Thank you so much.
We'll take for a short break, and when we come back, the AM show continues right after. Going live at 900 hours, this is the AM show, exploring the break of a new day in Banjul. Welcome back to the AM show. We're coming to you live from our charter studios here on the MDI Road. I mean, Winnie tributes continue to pour into social media with a Facebook trend that brings condolences from all around the world. People have been sending in their condolences since the news broke out that our colleague, friend and sister, Sisi Suwaneh, has passed in a tragic car accident yesterday. It's been really a very sad moment for all of us, especially here in GRTS, and of course the entire media fraternity, her family also, and we continue to pray for her as her soul rests in peace. In fact, she'll be laid to rest today. But of course,
at 5 p.m.
Yes, at 5 p.m. Of course, the discussion continues here in our studios, as we have, of course, the director of radio programs with us, Madam Hadibaji, who of course is Sisi's boss at the radio, and we have with her the deputy at the radio to talk to us about the life of Sisi and a professional life there at the radio, where she has of course spent about 6 years, if I'm correct, as a reporter, of course as a thoroughly announcer, and eventually became a fully fledged reporter. Madam Hadi, you are welcome to
the AM show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We begin with, first of all, how you received the news of Sisi's demise.
At first, when I received the call, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a case of mistaken identity. So what I did, I called the Director of Health Promotion, Mr. Moduja, who just left the studio, to help us confirm whether the story was actually true. So, but then he also contacted Mansakonko, the Mansakonko Health Post, and then later called me back. It was there and then I believe that Sisi has indeed passed away.
Wow. Now, I mean, tell us more about Sisi, because you've worked with her for almost 6 years. Tell us more about Sisi.
Yes, Sisi joined us in 2014, precisely around October, November. But when she came, she settled very well as a Sarahule announcer. And later in 2016 or 17, I'm not sure of the date, she was promoted to the position of a reporter. She was very passionate about women issues. I cannot just say even women issues, but all other issues that affect women and girls. She's been very active. She was very active with the Girls Agenda program. When it comes to female genital mutilation, Sisi was there.
Okay. Now, Mr. Sisi, talk to us. How did you receive, the news of Sisi's demise?
Well, for the first time, let me just say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. From Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we come from, and from Allah we will all return. Well, Sisi's demise was very shocking and devastating, actually. We received the news in the late evening. That was around 5 when I was going home. I just dropped at a nearby mosque to pray the Asr prayer. That was when my phone kept on ringing. And then it was on silence when I came from the mosque. I then returned the call. And one of the staff from GRTS broke the news to me that Sisi passed away. Sisi really was a hard-working somebody. He has passion for the profession, and not only the media work. Sisi also has a flair for other areas. Like Hadi said, she was very active in women activities, and also gender activities, and also FGM. She traveled a lot to represent the country in several fora overseas. The demise really, like I say, is devastating, and GRTS is right now coming to terms with the news. And on behalf of the management and the staff of the institution, we would like to express our heartfelt condolence and sympathy to the family and the relatives and friends for the demise.
Okay, thank you very
just
much.
To add on to what Lamin said, Sisi's demise has the effect is already being felt by us at the radio. When you go to the newsroom today, it's sadness all over. Even our early morning program, we couldn't produce it because our colleagues in the newsroom said they just cannot stand it. It's a great loss.
Of course,
and
it
we pray
is.
that Jadatu Firdaus be her final abode.
Amen. Now, Auntie Heidi, what was she like? What was Sisi like in the newsroom?
Sisi was, as mentioned by Lamin, very hardworking, a dedicated staff. On a normal day, Sisi would go to school, and immediately from classes, she would come back to the radio and make sure that her programs are done to the best of her ability. I can fully remember a day before she passed away. This was a Tuesday. She went to school and then came back, and she presented this Gambia Today, and also filed in a report, that very day. Yes, she was very hardworking, very committed, very committed.
And she, I must say, Sisi is unique in every way. We presented the Gambia Today last week, Thursday, and I remember we were not even serious about it at all. And I was saying, Sisi, we have to be serious. I don't know, we're presenting the show and we're making, fun, everything about it. She told me, you don't have to take anything serious, anything you do, you have to make sure you do it so people can enjoy it. What was the most exceptional thing about Sisi? What was the unique trait she had that we'll continue to miss?
I think it was her dedication to issues affecting women and girls, especially the role she played when it comes to the Girls Agenda And then she also produced this program, Mefahamule, on both radio and television. On both radio and television. And whatever, whatever assignment she was given, she did it to the best of her ability. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Mr. Sisi, finally, how will you remember Sisi?
Well, Sisi, her professional life really is commendable and admirable. Sisi has a very good rapport with the colleagues in the office. She is very jovial, and she is very open to corrections and advice. Any challenge she has, she would contact staff, and then she is very open, and she would also take advices from people. I don't know the family life, but I believe Sisi comes from a very good family, a religious family, and I believe she's a good Muslim too, because that reflects on her job and the relations she has with the colleagues in the office.
Yes, in addition to what Lamin said, Sisi's loyalty to GRTS cannot be questioned, because we all know that she was a go-getter. Whatever her target was, she will make sure that it is
She
achieved.
gets it.
Yeah, she gets it.
Thank you so much, Auntie Hedy. And we are, of course, all devastated and saddened by the passing of this most friendly of people in GRTS. And after what was a difficult moment, GRTS principal producer, Modu S. Jallo, went around to speak to GRTS staff, all of whom paid tribute to the late Sisi Suwaneh. We will leave you with those interviews now. Going live at 900 hours, this is the AM show, exploring the break of a new day in Banjul.
Well, here in the newsroom, the mood is that of somber, and staff are devastated as we come to terms with the loss of our dear colleague, a sister, a friend, and one of the promising reporters within this newsroom, Sisi Suwaneh, who passed away Wednesday afternoon in a tragic car accident. Sisi's death has left the entire country devastated, especially her colleagues she has been working with. Well, tributes have been pouring in from Gambians within and outside of the country. And here at GRTS, where she used to work, the staff are devastated and are really finding it hard to come to terms with the loss of a young lady who has been very, very inspiring. Well, leading the tributes here in GRTS is the Director General of the Gambia Radio and Television Services, Abdul M.K. Ture.
With utter shock and dismay that the management and staff of GRTS learned of the demise of Sisi Suwaneh, a very illustrious daughter of this country, and also a very prolific writer. Because if you know how Sisi came to GRTS, she started it on a very, 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 insignificant beginning, and today, she has reached a stage where she is acclaimed everywhere. All this is because of the hard work. She started as a Sarhira announcer, able to prove herself to become a fully fledged reporter on both radio and television. And she also does a lot of programs with regards to women and youth issues. And that is something that we think, is a very important thing, in the development of her career. But all of a sudden, it just, happened this way, that she had to succumb to the hands of fate.
Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To Allah we come from, and to the Almighty we shall all return. I would say tonight is the most difficult moments of my life as a news presenter. Entering the newsroom with all that flair and glow on my face, ready to present the news, just to be given that shocking news, that blow from Yero that we have lost one of our dear Sisi. I didn't have much of an encounter with her, but the little that I came across with her, I would treasure those moments, because I've seen Sisi as a young, dedicated, aspiring woman, full of hope, somebody who had a dream, somebody who wanted to be there, somebody who had a goal. And unfortunately, this is where it has all ended. We don't have the power in our hands. It's the Almighty Allah who says yes, and we have to say yes. So we pray for Sisi and those that lost their lives during this tragic accident. May Jannatul Firdaus be their eternal resting place. It's difficult for all of us, for GRTS. It's a moment that we will live to remember.
I am still in shock. I am still in disbelief. I know a lot of people are shocked, but then I would say I am really, really hit hard by the sad news that we all received this afternoon. I was with Sisi in the morning. I had an event at the University of the Gambia, and then she came to attend that event. She was there. I saw her. We even had a chat downstairs at the law faculty. And then after 15 minutes, that was like 1:30, she said to me, I'm leaving for Jarasoma. And I told her, what are you going to do in Jarasoma? And she told me exactly what she's going to do there. In fact, she told me I should have been there since 8 a.m., but it's because of your event. That's why I couldn't go. I had to attend this event before I leave for Jarasoma. And that is how we've been. That is the way I've lived with Sisi at the radio. We always do everything together. We travel together, just like you see. I've just been browsing my phone, looking at our pictures. We traveled together in Morocco. This is myself and her. We're in Morocco, and then from Morocco we traveled to a lot of other countries, and these are some of the pictures that she took of me. We were here, this is Morocco, and we traveled to many other countries where we attended a lot of forums. I can't do anything more than to pray for her, for Allah to grant her the highest Jannah and forgive all our sins. It's really hard for me.
Definitely a tragic loss for GRTS, for the country, for the continent, and for the entire women's empowerment and girls' agenda platform worldwide. Sisi is one of the most determined, adventurous, and really motivated young people I've ever worked with anywhere. She has drive. She has a passion and creativity level that's unmatched. I remember her coming in from radio to talk to me about creating a Sarahule news magazine platform, Mefa Hamunde. And within a couple of days, we were able to run this. She was there with Fatoumata Simaha, and they just blew away the whole platform. It was fantastic.
Deaths in general are painful, but that of a youth folk, an enterprising youth folk, a determined youth folk like Sisi, is a big loss, not only to her family, but to the entire country, to the journalistic fraternity, and GRTS in particular, especially the newsroom which I had.
Well, here in the newsroom, the mood...
Welcome back to the AM show. Indeed, Moloshi, we've lost a determined, passionate, friendly, respectable young lady and colleague, friend. May her soul rest in perfect peace.
We keep saying that nobody is indispensable. I think Sisi is irreplaceable because people like Sisi are rare, and to have people who are so committed like her, who would put anything and everything into saying what they want to happen. I mean, for me, I can't even shed tears anymore, and I just have to think about her life and think about everything that she has done, and know that she has lived a worthy cause.
Of course, yes. Now we're going to look, back, at one of her reports that is in the area of sports, which she had a great passion for.
Received $35,000 as runner-up, whilst Garowal Village were crowned the Sanitary champions with a giant trophy and a cash prize of $50,000. Well, Garowal might have won the 2019 finals here at the Independence Stadium, but the main objective of the tournament has been achieved because we've seen young people that have come together to support their teams, especially the finalists, Numuyil and Garowal, and this has fostered cooperation between young people. Sisi Suwaneh, GRTS Sports from the Independence Stadium in Bakau.
Going live at 900 hours, this is the AM show, exploring the break of a new day in Banjul.
Well, that was Sisi Suwaneh.
I mean, she had passion for a lot of things, and sports was actually one of them.
Of course.
And Sisi always had this passion of bringing her. She loved her people. She's one of those few people I know they're so proud of where they come from. You talk about Sisi. I don't think there's anybody in the Sarole community, a prominent Sarole community, figure in the Sarole community who doesn't know her because of how proud she is to bring her people together, how the sense of community she had, and she always wanted to give back to her people. And that is something that you see rarely in these recent years, young people being so committed to, going back to their roots and just trying so hard to do what they can for their people and for their community. And I think legacy, of course, definitely lives on because she has indeed impacted a lot of lives.
Of course, she has.
We'll now take a short break, and when we come back, we'll look at all the news. Going live at 900 hours, this is the AM show, exploring the break of a new day in Banjul.
Welcome back to the AM show. Well, time now for Coffee with Sainabu Jain.
Hello and welcome to another session of Coffee with. I'm your host Sainabu Jain, and today we're Attire Cafe. Thanks to them, we're able to use the location and we have coffee. So, my guest today is Sheikh Tijan Jah. He is, actually, I won't tell you what he does himself. Please tell Coffee with, who is Sheikh Tijan Jah?
My name is Sheikh Jah. I was born in Latrikunda, German, and brought up in Bundung, and I'm working for Gambia Radio and Services as a studio technician.
Tell Coffee with what it was like growing up as a young Sheikh Jah.
Okay. Actually, when I was born in Latrikunda at the age of 4, it's like it was a debate between my mom and my dad that, because like most of my brothers, my elder brothers, they didn't went through conventional schools. Like they went to Dara or Madrasa, we call it. You understand? So I was the one that followed suit. And, I was so attached to my uncle, my younger dad. I was so attached to him. Whenever he comes to Latrikunda, because that is where his mom, my grandmother, was staying, he frequently comes to see her. So whenever he comes to see her, it's like I always want to follow him to Bundung. So he saw that on several occasions, whenever he comes, I will just jump into his vehicle and today Baba Namadem Bundung, And all of us, one day he came and told my dad, look, I think he's very attached to me. I want to take him to Bundung, whereas, I'll take him to school and, from there then, that is how it started. Then I was with him. He took me, I started with Bundung Primary. You understand? I was there till primary 4. Then we had a teacher who was at Bakau New Town Low Basic School. He was a teacher there and told my dad, look, I believe he's doing well in Bundung Primary, but let's take him to Bakau New Town, whereas we can monitor him well. So that, because I was trying little and later he take me to Bakau New Town where I will spend the whole day, say from morning till afternoon, I'll be in the school for my primary 5 and primary 6. That is what I did. And I sit my common entrance and later I chose St. Teresa's Upper Basic School, where I did my upper basic school and later on start senior secondary school in the commerce stream. But my dad knew I was very interested in electronic things and technical because he's a mechanic and most of the time they are doing this mechanical job and I was very interested in electronics. So he deemed it necessary that I have to take you to Gambia Technical Training Institute. Before my results were out, grade 12 results, and he took me to Gambia Technical Training Institute where I did electronic servicing till 2008. That was 2006 to 2008, and I got the opportunity to come to GRTS to do my attachment. Then I was recruited on 2011 as a full-time employment.
That's very interesting. So obviously you're always behind the scenes. No one really sees you. That's why today I was like, I'm going to Share out, and we're going to know more about Share and what he does. So tell us a bit about your experience at GRTS. How has it been working there, and what have you learned that's made you who you are today?
Actually, when I came to GRTS, I came when they were not at exchange, when they transferred to the new building where they have new equipment. I can remember the first day when I came. That was my attachment time. That was in 2008. I saw Vision mixer that was taking almost about 24 inputs, and we have a lot of buttons and lot of buttons. I was like, look, when am I going to be able to get familiar to this equipment? It took me time, but I have my seniors that were there that helped me through to whenever sometimes there are so many things inside. I mean that we were not using, but sometimes I'll think about something and I just to one of my seniors, why not we do an exploration about this? There was one of my seniors who was very supportive. Whenever I tell him something, he tell me, look, wait until we are a little free, then we'll get there and explore. That is how I became more interested in the job and getting to know so many stuff in the job, and until now at least I can say alhamdulillah, there are so many things I'm able to do on my own. Okay. Yeah.
We'd like to know what influenced you to venture into technology, because we know technology is the fastest growing field. So what influenced you to get into that field?
My dad was an inspiration though. He's a mechanic, as I told you earlier, and he was always with vehicles and but for me, seriously, since when I was young, I like operating equipment. I like operating equipment. I remember, when we had the first phones from the because nowadays when you have Android phones are just automatically and internets are automatically installed, let's say. But before, I can remember those days when we have second consignment from one of the mobile companies in the Gambia here. It's like most of the people will come to me and tell me, look, can you please connect my APN, because I was very used to it. I always wanted to know. I'm very curious though. I always wanted to know new things, and when I knew about that, it's like many people will come to me and try to configure my phone, and that's what I do. Like most of the people know me about that in the institute and things like that, and basically that is it. That's
is the AM show, exploring the break of a new day in Banjul. Great Coffee with George's Sheja. He's actually a very exceptional technician and quite talented. We hope to bring you the full interview in our subsequent AM shows. This is the AM show, of course, when we stay with health issues, because our unique initiative aimed at providing parts for girls attending the amSHOW boarding school is being driven via a special scheme called Fatima's Part Drive. The support program is a selfless initiative aimed at helping young girls with sanitary pads. Every young girl, mainly above 15 years, undergoes menstruation period unconditionally. It is a natural condition which cannot be avoided, but young girls, especially those attending school, mostly lack the financial strength to buy pads for themselves. Some are also deterred by the social and societal stigma to request pads from their parents or male counterparts. And thus, the enhancement of menstrual hygiene is one of the most important ways to empower and support girls. We are now joined in the studios by Fatima and, of course, her colleague Fanta for more on the roving initiative supporting young or schoolgirls with sanitary pads. Fanta and Fatima, welcome to amSHOW.
Thank you so much.
Now, of course, we start with Fatima, who is actually the founder, or how do I put that, or the initiator of the Pad Drive. How did it all start?
It all started when I had a conversation with a girlfriend, maybe younger, and I asked her why she has not been going to school for a week.
Okay.
And she told me that she's on her period. And I was shocked, and I asked her, so you went on your period, should that stop you from going to school? And she said, yes, because my mom told me that I should be using a piece of cloth to sustain the blood. So when I go to school, I'm the girl that she overbleeds. Yeah, so she bleeds too much. So she figured it will be safer to stay home than going to school with a piece of cloth. And that her mom told her that the menstrual blood has something to do with witchcraft, that witch hunt. People, witches always hunt menstrual blood. So, which is why she doesn't want to go to school, because she's on her period and she's using the piece of cloth.
So that was all how it started.
Yeah, that was the motivation.
Now, how much of an impact are free pads, making for girls?
Sorry, come again.
Yeah, how much of an impact are free pads making for girls?
I mean, when did you start your initiative, and what good has it done to these?
Yeah, I started the initiative like last month, because I had this conversation with this girl 3 months back, and I always say I would start it, but then something would come up. But then suddenly I said, okay, why not I start this with nothing? Maybe talk to people about it, some might support. So the first place I went to was the prison, the Grammy Maltu prison.
Okay.
Because we have males there, so that was the first step I took, and it was very great. And I'm about to do the second drive at amSHOW school, which is a boarding school for girls, and I learned that most of them find it hard to afford pads. So that is the second target, and I'll be going there on Friday, and so far so good. People are supporting.
All right, let's
which is great.
Shift to Fanta. Fanta, if also you're working with Fatima on this particular Pad Drive. I mean, period poverty is a reality that many girls face, but how can we effectively transmit the message to drive meaningful action?
Well, thank you very much, Maloshi. And I wouldn't do justice if I don't extend my condolences to the family of Sisi. I was not a close friend, but at least she was a student at university, and yeah. So we have indeed lost a great icon, a national asset. For that
Thank you.
So the Pad Drive, basically, like she just said, we are co-founders. We basically talk about everything. So when she told me, I was like, okay, I think we should get this thing done. It's important. It's important that we have reached a level where pads should be free for every girl out there. It's not a choice. It's a natural phenomenon we have to get used to. So if we have people coming in to support girls in this quest, I think it's really laudable, and I encourage people to do more. Yeah.
Now, why are pads, especially important, for girls living in confined spaces? Why is it important?
Yeah, usually girls in confined spaces, like the word confined means they're maybe, let's say, quarantined at one place, should I say. So we should have all facilities available to them, and pad is one of them. You will find out that one thing, like she just mentioned, pad is a little bit expensive sometimes for the girls. So if we have initiatives like this coming on board to support girls in this quest, I think it's very, very, important.
It's a laudable initiative.
Yeah. Do you have partners working with you? Because of course you can't raise all the pads alone. You need people to support you. Why is that so important for this drive?
As of now, the only partners we have is like Amidage ex-students associations. That's the only partner we have for now.
Okay.
So we're raising all the parts by ourselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is actually
that must
a very
be hard.
huge responsibility. Because I know sometimes for people to even take $25 out to give it for workers, sometimes it's a difficult thing to do, even though it's not so difficult for some people. But we do hope that with, of course, sensitization, they will know and understand the importance of taking out that 25 to donate. So going forward, Fatima, before we wrap up, what are some of the activities that you'll be embarking on in this crusade?
Yeah, we'll be going with some medical people, so they'll be taking the girls through and through. We'll be talking about personal hygiene, menstrual hygiene. So giving pads to the girl is not enough, because I've learned that some of them even have the pads, but lack of knowledge of how to use it.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly.
And how long it should take
be there. So we'll be talking to the girls about it, which is why we'll be spending 3 days with them, like from Friday to Sunday. We'll be sharing experience, we'll be empowering each other, supporting each other, because they might be there, but they might know something that I don't know here. So yeah, we'll be doing that with them too.
Okay, so
so they would say, who feels it knows it. So like the girl told her, she'd been using piece of cloths to keep the blood from coming out. So you find out that medically it is not fit, it's not hygienic for her system. She might not know, but that is where she might contract infections that she might not be aware about. So it's very important. And because we are two ladies here, doesn't mean we are gender insensitive. Yesterday we were here and we had a male with us. So that is to show the people and the public that the men are actually supporting this crusade. We have donors that are mainly men that are sending in parts for little girls and sisters.
Which is really good. Now, what next? Is it only Armitage? Now, what next?
No, this is a continuous thing. So our next part drive will be maybe to the orphanage to see the girls there, because I heard there's an orphanage in Perkama, and a friend told me that those people said they need sisters. They don't want money or food. They have enough of that, so they need sisters. So Fatima's path drive is not always concentrating on the path delivery. We're here to be sisters to the people that need us. We're here to support a woman. We're here to empower women too. So that's it. Our next drive will be at the orphanage. The date is yet to be announced, but then we'll work on it.
Thank you so much.
Which is great. It's really great. We wish you, all the best.
All the best. Of course, this is the AM show, and we'll take a look at our main items we've been following for you this morning. We need a tragic and heart-rending loss of a promising talent. GRTS mourns the shock death of Gambian journalist and ardent activist Sisi Suwaneh.
A car crash far away from home takes the life of the young reporter who dedicated her time and energy in selfless service to her community and people.
Moving to enhance patient safety and healthcare service delivery, officials closed down the ASB hospital in Latrikunda, citing poor case management that lead to several deaths.
And pads for schoolgirls in the hinterland, we examine a major effort to support girls attending the Armitage boarding school with sanitary pads.
Elsewhere, Turkey launches Operation Peace Spring attacking Kurdish defenses in northern Syria. President Erdogan says the move aims to prevent a terror corridor and create a safe zone along the Turkish border with Syria.
Now let's stay with the internationals because explosions roar across the Turkish-Syrian border, creating clouds of smoke as Turkey officially launched the so-called Operation Peace Spring. President Erdogan says the assault is meant to prevent a terror corridor and create a safe zone at the Turkish border. Well, details of that in the CGTN report.
Accusing the president of
Explosions roared across the Turkish-Syrian border, creating clouds of smoke as Turkey officially launched the so-called Operation Peace Spring, which was announced by Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan on Wednesday. Turkey has been planning for this operation for months now. Ankara says there are two main objectives behind the operation: to secure Turkey's border areas by eliminating terrorist elements and to allow the safe return of refugees into Syria. Ankara says it plans to target Syrian Kurdish YPG militia and Islamic State militants during the offensive. Smoke was seen rising from buildings in the Syrian towns of Ras Al Ain and Tel Abyad as Turkish jets hit their first targets, marking the beginning of the operation. Meanwhile, homes in Turkey's border town of Ceylanpınar were hit by rocket shells launched from within Syria. No casualties were reported. Earlier on Monday, the Pentagon removed Turkey from the anti-ISIS air tasking order, which coordinates flights in that region.
This could cause some restrictions for Turkey, but Turkey's weapons and ammunition would be sufficient to have an impact on the target operation area, which is 30 kilometers deep. So without leaving its own airspace, Turkey's fighter jets would be able to hit the targets at the furthest point of the 30 kilometers it has determined.
Civilians living in residential towns in Syria could also create challenges for Turkey.
The YPJ-PKK will want to use civilians as human shields. A civilian sensitivity will unfold, and it's my evaluation that Turkey will face provocations and manipulations. The PKK did this before by not allowing civilians to leave combat areas. It tried to put pressure on Turkey.
NATO's Secretary General stated that Turkey had legitimate concerns, but called for Ankara to be cautious.
It has suffered horrendous terrorist attacks, and it hosts millions of Syrian refugees. NATO has been informed by Turkish authorities about their ongoing operation in northern Syria. It is important to avoid actions that may further destabilize the region, escalate tensions, and cause more human suffering.
The UN Security Council is set to meet for an emergency meeting on Thursday to discuss the operation. Turkey's defense ministry stressed that only terrorists and their shelters, weapons, positions, and equipment would be targeted, while extra attention was paid to prevent damage to civilians as well as cultural and historical structures. Michal Bardavid, CGTN, Şanlıurfa.
Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is defending his decision to pull U.S. troops from northern Syria despite growing backlash in Washington. CGTN's White House correspondent Nathan King reports.
Into Syria began, U.S. President Donald Trump took to Twitter to defend his decision to pull troops from the area and effectively abandon his Kurdish allies, saying, "The United States has spent $8 trillion fighting and policing in the Middle East. Thousands of our great soldiers have died or been badly wounded. Millions of people have died on the other side. Going into the Middle East is the worst decision ever made." But political friends and foes alike are angry, accusing the president of personally abandoning the Kurds who were instrumental in defeating ISIS in Syria and Iraq. "Pray for our Kurdish allies who have been shamelessly abandoned by the Trump administration. This move ensures the re-emergence of ISIS," wrote influential senator and normally close ally Lindsey Graham as the Turkish operation began. And the US Congress, rarely united on anything, is threatening sanctions against Ankara. Feeling intense political pressure, Trump went before the cameras and warned Turkey that he would act if Turkey went too far.
"I will wipe out his economy if that happens. I've already done it once."
Trump, however, already gave the green light to Turkey to move into Kurdish areas of northern Syria in a Sunday phone call with Turkish President Erdogan. US troops began to pull back from their positions very soon afterwards. Erdogan is also scheduled to visit the White House next month. Trump's many critics here say this decision to pull back in northern Syria runs counter to US national interest and emboldens traditional adversaries like Russia, Iran, the government in Damascus, and also by betraying the Kurds, suggests that other allies could be betrayed too. Nathan King, CGTN, at the White House. The Turkish...
Well, there were off and on clashes all day in the capital, Quito, and in some other cities. For now, President Lenin Moreno appears to have the backing of the military, but anger over his decision to end 4 decades of fuel subsidies runs deep.
Ecuadorian capital, but there were signs the unrest of recent days is not over. Indigenous groups from across the country arrived in Quito this week, upping the stakes in the stalemate between the government and protesters.
Thousands of indigenous Ecuadorians are gathered here in this park in Quito on the first day of a national strike. They say it will continue until the government repeals the controversial decree lifting the fuel subsidies.
The government move caused the cost of gasoline to spike by 1/3 overnight, as well as doubling the price of diesel. Indigenous groups, many of whom are poor, say the austerity measures are hitting them hardest. Their leader says there will be no dialogue unless the government rolls them back.
Nosotros lo único que estamos diciendo, derogue el decreto.
The only thing that we are saying is repeal the decree 883. If it is repealed, the people will decide if we will talk or not. But we are angry because we have several injured, several detained, and several dead, and this will not stand.
Varios encarcelados, varios muertos, y eso no va a quedar así.
But Ecuador's President Lenin Moreno says he will not rescind the decree, which has sparked the worst protests the country has seen in years. The violence across the capital forced Moreno to move his entire government to the country's largest city, Guayaquil.
I am convinced of dialogue with my indigenous brothers, with whom we share many causes, on how to use the country's resources for those who need it the most. Fellow Ecuadorians, don't fall for those who want to take advantage of the chaos.
Moreno accused his predecessor, Rafael Correa, a former ally turned bitter enemy, of inciting the protests. But indigenous leaders deny they've been manipulated.
We are not responsible for the vandalism caused by certain infiltrators who want to show that the indigenous movement is criminal, made up of thieves and vandals.
Correa denies any involvement, but has said Moreno should step down and new elections be called. Dan Collins, CGTN, Quito.
Well, this is the AM show, and I am Winifred Nicole, and with my wonderful co-host, Fatu Ilika Moloshi. But Moloshi, before we go, a quick look at the main items once again. A tragic and heart-rending loss of a promising talent, GRTS is mourning the shock death of Gambian journalist and ardent activist Sisi Suwaneh.
A car crash far away from home has taken the life of the young reporter who dedicated her time and energy in selfless service to our community and people.
Moving to enhance patient safety and healthcare service delivery, the Health Ministry has closed down the ASB hospital in Latikunda, citing poor case management that led to several patient deaths.
And paths for school girls in the hinterland, we have been exploring a major effort to support girls attending the Hermitage boarding school with sanitary pads.
Well, elsewhere, Turkey has launched Operation Peace Spring, attacking Kurdish defenses in the northern Syria. President Erdogan says the move aims to prevent a terror corridor and create a safe zone along the Turkish border with Syria.
Well, that's all from us here in the GRTS studios in this edition of the AM show. We do hope that you will continue watching GRTS as programs unfold. Well, it's bye from us now, and special thanks to our camera technicians, our producer, and director, Ibrahim Ajata.
Thank you so much for watching.